So, Acho, should the 49ers move on from Jimmy GQ?
Man, they absolutely should, Marcellus, because if you've already moved on in your head and in your heart, then you might as well move on physically. This isn't just a Jimmy G conversation. This for relationships, too.
Oh.
Some of y'all stuck in some of them things that you should go ahead and move on by because you're already disconnected emotionally.
Don't look at me when you talking that craziness. Now look back at me. What's up?
Let me be real with you, bro, because I always am.
Yes, you
Jimmy
are.
G is very good. I've told you this before. I think Jimmy G is a good quarterback. There aren't a ton of good quarterbacks in the NFL. He is one of them. But good is the enemy of great. If I go back to the biggest moment of Jimmy G's career, the biggest moment in recent history for San Francisco 49ers, last year's Super Bowl, I would submit, and again, I would propose, the reason that the reason that the 49ers did not win that Super Bowl is because of Jimmy G. The 49ers defense did what they were supposed to do. I'm not going to relish in the past.
What?
Talk about the past and get to the present. They did. They picked off Patrick Mahomes twice. He hadn't been picked off twice all season. They sacked him 4 times. He'd been sacked 4 times once all season.
Keep going.
They did what they were supposed to do.
Fourth quarter. No? Anybody?
They did what they were supposed to do.
Okay.
Jimmy G did not. Why do I say that? Because when I think about the fact of what is truly holding back this 49ers team, it's not the head coach. It's not the defense. It's obviously injuries this year. But if you're talking about an injury list team, it's not the defense. It's Jimmy G, and he has been. This isn't even my words. Kyle Shanahan knows this.
Oh, really?
And Kyle Shanahan is ready to move on. But here's my thing, Marcellus, because I listen to you when you speak. That is what I think makes this show so quality. We dialogue,
We're great
we listen,
listeners.
we hear each other out.
Yeah.
And what I've heard when you speak is you say this: the best ability is availability. You got to be available. And so very simply put, Marcellus, I propose to you a blind resume, if we shall.
Let's do it.
We're going to look at Jimmy G on the left, and we're going to see another person on the right. And this person on the right will be revealed in due time.
Okay.
Jimmy G, 22-8, is a starter since week 13 of 2017. 30 starts out of a possible 45 games. Jimmy G has missed 33% of his games. What? The person on the right has missed 18%. Before we reveal the person on the right, let me use the adjectives you used to describe him.
Who?
Non-trustworthy.
Who?
Can't depend on
Who?
him. Can't count on
Who?
him. Always hurt.
Who that?
Never there in
Who
the
that?
big moments.
Who that?
So can we see who's on the right?
It must be Carson Wentz's.
Carson Wentz.
It's Wincy.
He's missed 8 games of the last 45. Jimmy G has missed 15. Jimmy G's on track, Marcellus, to not return for another 6 weeks. So Jimmy G would have missed, 21 games out of a possible 51. And yet we don't talk about his lack of availability. Hurt New England in 2016. Hurt second year in San Francisco. Hurt again this year. All I got to say is if the best ability is, in fact, availability, like Marcellus Wiley has told me, then there is a tremendous other reason and motivation to move on from Jimmy G.
You ain't leave me no room in there. You ain't save me no ribs. Oh, my God. You covered a lot of ground there. I got to give you credit. And let me add to some of the fuel that you just went out there and spat at me before I start to combat it. All right. 2 of his 3 seasons as a 49er, he has been injured. That's a problem, right? You got to talk about the availability. His cap number, goodness. Jimmy G, the money is telling them to get rid of you. 26.9 cap number next year versus 2.8 dead money. For all those who don't understand that, basically, if he stays, he's going to cost $27 million. If he leaves, it's only going to cost him $2.8 million. Woo! I don't care how fresh the purse is, my wife, how much it costs. Before we even get into the fresh conversation, we say, how much? And if I can save $25 million, how much, Jimmy G? The incentives are to get rid of you. Now, let me support Jimmy G because a lot of attention is on Jimmy G, and we forget. Let's just look at the organization as a whole, because I don't have a blind resume. I got a resume you're going to see live and in person, and I'm going to call out their coach later. Let's talk about the organization right now. How dare you let this oxygen be within your walls talking blasphemous about the Jimmy GQ. Jimmy GQ goes to an organization that was 2-14 before he got there the year prior, right? With your guy, with my guy who recruited me at Columbia, Chip Kelly. All right, 2-14. And then what happens the next year? Do you remember how it started? Because Kyle Shanahan's in his first year. This offensive guru, offensive mind, this genius of a coach, right? You know how they started off?
Terrible.
1-10. Hello, you know what they were writing up there in the Bay? Did we do the right thing? This is not working. And then a plane lands from Foxborough. And that pretty boy, Jimmy GQ, came off that plane and said, I will play for the 49ers, and I won't lose a game. And they didn't lose another game that year. And then he gets paid. Then the injuries come. Then he signs the big deal. That incentivizes them after a couple of years to get rid of him. All I'm saying with this is, before we even get into Kyle Shanahan versus Jimmy GQ, how can you let him go? You couldn't win games without him. He literally won more games in that compromised short season, 5-0, than they had in the 2 years prior. So now you're going to blame Jimmy GQ? Hell no, big dog. We can't go there.